Folks, special edition episode, breaking news episode of The Breakdown. Your boy Sensei in the building as always. I'm here as well.
Yes.
Sensei, how you doing, man?
Doing fantastic, dude. Ready? I'm ready for this video right now.
Yeah, okay, so we're going to get into it.
So
breaking
ready.
news, as we're recording this, Dana White has been involved with an altercation with his wife. Let's actually read the TMZ report before we watch the video just to see kind of what happened. Apparently, Sensei, New Year's Eve party, Dana White, you know what I'm saying, doing his thing, having a fun night out, no big deal, and then things get a little dicey, as one Brendan Schaub would say. Shout out to the homeless cats. So here's the full video, Sensei, all right? This is the full video of Dana White altercation. Let's walk through this step by step.
He's holding her.
He's got hands already on her, okay? That's the start of this thing.
Okay,
There's
so
definitely
he's
some
anticipating.
issues going down, right? I don't know
And
what
she's
it
got,
is.
Go back a second. She's got some delts, dude.
Oh,
Go
yeah,
back.
no, she's built. She's built like
I
a
haven't seen
house, son. Come on. Look at the
Okay,
curvature. She's been working out. She's been on that Dana Save My Life
Ooh.
plan.
There's a threat coming in right there. That's what that was.
Now, we got, I can barely see it, but we got head and hands, Sensei. Head and hands.
Oh, boy.
Okay, Dana looking on saying, either I fucked up here or something's going down, right? You either know something's
Charging
coming.
up.
She's charging up. Okay. He's trying to get wrist control once again. Bang! Son, she pulled a fast one on him. Look how quick. She went from just distraught. Nah, son. How?
And he wasn't, based off what we're seeing, he wasn't being aggressive.
It doesn't look like that so far. We
It
only
looks
seen
like
a little
he's
bit.
trying to. It looks like
Only
he's
seen a
trying
little
to
bit.
soften
But whatever
it
the
and
situation,
apologize for
exactly, whatever the situation was, the escalation of which that we're seeing on camera did start here, it looks like. Okay?
Ooh.
Boom!
Bam.
He comes back with one, and Sensei, this has to be a man that's been
hit her-
slapped before, because there was a quick reaction here, you know?
Very quick reaction.
Dana,
And I
Vegas
think
guy,
I
former
think he got
Southie,
shocked.
you know?
I think he got shocked by it and how hard it was.
Yeah.
And he responded back, and it's almost like he hit her like he knew she could take it or something, like she fights or something.
Well,
because
talk to me. We discussed this a little bit off camera. You talked about your dad and how
Yes.
he grew up and some things like that. Tell me.
my dad
Go
grew up in the Bronx in a very rough area,
Right.
and he's gotten in situations and altercations with both boys and with girls. And in the situation with girls, there was one specifically on the bus. He was in middle school. The girl was in high school and was hitting people with like a ruler or something,
Yeah.
and scratched them across his face. So he got up and gave her that 1-2 piece.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then he obviously got in trouble for it, but it was an act of self-defense because he was like bleeding and getting beat up. So there's situations where it's not about gender, like
Right.
we were talking about, and it's about the person who can inflict more violence, the
Right.
person who poses more of a threat, regardless of gender. But it's about the physical stature, your ability,
Yep.
your like combat background. All
Right.
those things come into play, and obviously level playing field, and there's no weapons here.
Right.
So I'm not saying that Dana White is right, but there is it's because he did get hit first,
got hit
hard.
He got hit. He got cracked.
And he's not respond. He didn't slap her like I said, like she slapped him.
Yeah.
She was frustrated, and angry, and she just hit him.
She wailed
It wasn't
on
like
him.
he was angry. He wasn't being aggressive, and just went off and cuffed her.
Right.
He got
Now-
hit, and he was like, "I hit you back."
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so far that's what we've seen.
That's
Doesn't
what
make
we've
it
seen.
right, but it's not what she did.
Right.
in a
No,
sense.
so none of this
It's
was
almost-
right.
It almost cancels out in a way because what she did was wrong, but she's also coming from a place, and this is important because I know a lot of times girls say, well, if you hit me, it's equal rights, equal fights or whatever.
Not true.
She's coming from a place where she's not as opposing of a threat. Right?
Exactly.
So like if a kid goes to like hit me, let's say in the dojo,
Right.
he could be, they probably feel like I'm not going to go off and hit them back. Like
Exactly.
they feel like I'm not as imposing, therefore there's a sense of natural sense subconsciously of a barrier where you're not going to just go off and hurt me because I can't really hurt you. I'm just doing this as a sense because of my frustration or whatever. It's different.
That's fair. No, it is. And she shouldn't. It is a little messed up that is the kind of thought, well, I can hit you, but you can't hit me. I understand that, but
Yes.
what you're saying is 100% correct. There is that little barrier. It's unspoken. No one will say it, but It is a
Correct.
lashing out because she knows, okay, this is not going to hurt you, but it's my frustration coming out of me. And again, she should have been able to control it far
And
better.
it's wrong, but it's not the same.
Exactly. Not the same at all. It is wrong for both of them here. And if this is where this stopped, it's still bad on Dana. It's going to be way worse for him, but it's not where it stops.
Yeah.
So let's watch this.
No.
Boom! He gives her a second one.
Oh, I think I just saw him pull her into it.
Yeah, watch the lead hand.
His
here.
left
Come here.
hand's in.
Bang,
Oh,
son.
that one.
This one's
okay.
where it goes a little bit past what
This is
it
it right
already
there.
was. You know,
It looks like he pulled her in again.
said,
with
hey,
the
like
left
come
hand.
get over here, Scorpion style. Yowza. And again, we're not making light of the situation, but man, this is going to be very, very bad for Dana. I'm not exactly sure. We're going to talk about in a second how bad, but Sensei,
Yeah.
now he's giving her 2, right? That one was, I get you back. This one was like, you should have never done that, or
Ooh.
now you learned your lesson. Like, it's just not good, right? But fair play to Wifey here because she is a scrapper. Check this out. She's not done with him and even gets one in, Sensei.
Ooh.
Left hand
the
over
left?
the top.
Wait, I think she's
Boom.
Oh, yes.
So
I think I saw his head turn.
now he's
I think
thinking,
there's another
okay,
one right after this.
get her away from me, and she comes back at him. Boom, there goes something.
Oh, yep. Nope. That's what it was.
Boom.
Boom.
That
heel
is
right off the dome.
a projectile off the dome, Sensei.
A
What?
little Dylan Danis chuck right there, dude.
Dennis Chuck.
Close
Is that
quarter
a-
chuck.
That looks like a shoe,
That's
yeah?
That's a shoe.
It's a
dude. That's
shoe. She's
100%
tossing a shoe. The women always go for the shoe, but listen, it's effective, and he's got a melon on him. He takes that one. The field goal is
Boom.
good. And let's see if there's anything else here. They're arguing. People kind of start separating them after that. It looks like that's kind of the end of it, but we'll run through that just whole deal one more.
There
Oh, wait.
is
Was there something else that happened? Is that her? Did she come after him again?
Oh. No, it's just more hands. There's more hands,
okay.
yes.
I thought that was her. Is
Someone's
it-
checking on his head. I think it might be bleeding
Oh,
from the
okay.
heel
So
or
we
something.
confirmed the shoe got him. Confirmed. But who? Oh, okay. She's over here. So
I think maybe
again, you
still
see him.
stabbing the heel or something.
So something happens. He ducks. Maybe she threw the other one, and then he's got an arm out. Some people look like they're trying to hold her back.
Yeah.
Maybe she did, throw another one at him. Woo. Okay, so again, just to recap, we get lovers quarrel.
I don't know what happened before, but he's already holding her hands.
Yeah.
He's concerned about violence.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe there was something that the camera didn't get first, but they're looking down. I don't know what at, but he's got her hands already,
And
so
she,
maybe
and she is not afraid of this man whatsoever.
No.
There's no fear
nothing,
right here.
Nothing. And then
You know what I'm saying? It's not like she's cowering. And
the amount of time it takes her to go from just completely distraught and sad and crying to just turned up is amazing.
He
here.
tried to grabbing her, dude. That's where he went wrong. He tries grabbing her.
I know. Wrist control,
Controlling
psych.
her.
You didn't
Don't
get the backhand.
Don't you touch me.
Look at this guy. This guy has just witnessed something
Oh.
he's witnessed Dana White catch one. He's like, oh my God.
I'm gonna be honest, and I think right now he sees a little bit of red. I think he got hit hard.
Yeah,
bro.
he got cracked, and then he comes back
So he goes
with that
right
one.
because it was so impulsive.
Boom,
This is all
the
impulse.
second one too.
And
Now
then he's like, oh wait, maybe the adrenaline's down
That's
a little
not
bit
it.
there. He's like, oops.
that's not it. Now let's talk about this, Sensei. We've seen the crime, I guess you could say, be perpetrated. Let's read a little bit of this article from TMZ, where Dana White basically says, "Man, they've been married for 26 years." He
Wow.
says it was regretfully fueled by booze and let's see what the quote is here. Spoke to Dana White. He admits he and Ann had been drinking heavily, but quickly adds it's no excuse for him getting physical. He told us, quote, "You've heard me say for years there's no excuse for a guy putting his hands on a woman," which Dana has said multiple times. And I am now here on TMZ
Dang.
talking about it. He says he's embarrassed
That's
with
crazy.
this horrible incident, and he and Ann have to have apologized to each other. He says they're good, but their biggest concern is now for their 3 kids, whom they've discussed the fight with. And then Ann told TMZ, "Dana and I have been married for 30 years. To say this is out of character for him is an understatement. Nothing like this has ever happened before. Unfortunately, we were both drinking too much on
Wow.
New Year's Eve and things got out of control on both sides. We talked this through as a family and apologized to each other. I just hope people will respect the privacy for the sake of our children." It's weird, kind of, that she said it's out of character for him.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
because I was just gonna say, I want to hear you're gonna talk about what comes next. I said I want to hear what she has to say because it's very important to hear what she has to say. They've been married for a very long time. They've been together for almost 30 years.
Crazy, yeah.
And you can see that there was no fear of this man.
Yeah.
In her eyes, there was only fear from him.
Yeah.
Right. You could clear there was some fear in the altercation, and then she says, nothing like this has ever happened before. No, where is it?
She says, Dana and I have been married for 30 years. To say this is out of character for him is an understatement.
Yeah, out of character for him is an understatement. She said nothing like this has ever happened, but does she mean
him getting violent? Probably.
Right.
Or maybe both.
Maybe both. The way he was holding, again, maybe the way he was holding her hands and the way he was like,
he was bracing.
It made it seem like, and the way she smacked him, it seemed like she had no problem doing it.
Yeah, she got him a one. Here's my thing. Again, the way this can be read as text could be misinterpreted by us, and I don't want the comment section thinking that we are in any way or excusing what Dana's done here. You cannot, under any circumstance, like Sensei said, when you are the perpetrator that can do the most harm to an individual.
Correct.
Take advantage of that by not only striking
in any
once,
situation,
but then coming back and doing it again. It's not in any way excusable at all. It is, on the other hand, a little bit concerning that in any way this could be normal one way, right? Not to say that it is, but if this is the case where he's knowing that this is coming, it can't be a good thing either. So both people are flat wrong.
What I do think is wrong. In any situation like this, the answer is always going to be wrong. But what I think is very, very important is what happens a lot in these situations when it comes to any physical combat, like altercation, regardless of domestic violence or men just in between genders, anything.
Yeah,
I think they all get blanketed together, and we try to get into this. 1 + 1 = 2 forever for every situation.
Yeah.
Right, like 17 + 2 = 2. Like no, every situation must be looked at in its own right because everyone's situation is different.
Right.
And the context matters. And I think what happens is people get so quick into, well, she hit him, so she deserves to get hit.
Yeah.
Where it's like he hit a woman, so he should go to jail. Or he should be treated like every other abuser. He shouldn't be looked at in a situation like somebody else, but. I think the context matters, and it's going to be interesting how it comes out because I don't think it's going to be as bad.
Listen, it looks like Dana is playing a little defense for his family.
Yep.
And it's something where on my end, what I'm reading is there's some shame there for sure. Like he definitely is ashamed of what the whole situation is, but it does look like there's a one strict kind of answer, and that is, we're concerned with our kids. Not really about the situation itself and what and to be fair, he shouldn't have to explain it if no one else is business. But to me, it looks like a guy that I know he says it's the first time this has happened, but maybe there's been some. I don't know. I'm not going to say
physical stuff. Yeah,
I'm not going to say that not knowing, but maybe there was something like that. He looks at this situation and goes, "How did we get here? Right? How did this?" And again, we're talking about a guy we know nothing about, so it's hard to know. But it looks like when he talks there, it's just family defense, which he should be. He's the dad. He's the man. I want to know your thoughts. What are you thinking?
Yeah, listen, I got a perfect story for this because it just came back to my head for me. I'm training in a jiu-jitsu school, doing a no-gi class. First time I'm there, okay? The instructors, it's an MMA wrestling jiu-jitsu, actually. So it's like an MMA class, but it's just groundwork. And they're allowing to slap during it.
Okay. This is like Eddie Bravo. Yes,
but like just I don't know, combat jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, combat jiu-jitsu.
This is like 10 years ago, by the way. So and we're like, this is my first time there, so I don't really know the people there. But like, the point is to throw shots. Right. Just so that the person has to defend, so you don't get caught just attacking
stalemate.
Stuff
Yeah, exactly.
Correct. So I get partnered off with this woman there, who's training. Her husband is also in training.
Yep.
So this is the most awkward situation. I'm like 19.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we're doing striking, and I've never even done open hand striking. I've never done this before.
Right.
So she pulls guard. I'm trying to like pass whatever. I have not thrown one slap.
Right.
Honestly.
You're not gonna initiate. No way.
Nope. And dude, Let me tell you something. The hit that you saw is what I got hit with.
Ooh, she came for it.
Boom. I got hit, and her guard was good. Like I think she was a blue belt. I'm
Yeah.
just like I was pretty new. As soon as she hit me, what happened was, because when it started, I think she could tell like I was treating her with respect in the sense like I don't want to hurt you.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
When she hit me, I went, "Oh, okay, so this is even now.
Yeah.
Like we're just gonna compete now."
Right.
Because she hit me hard, bro, and I was like, "Oh." Now I didn't strike back,
Right.
but we were allowed to grab and hook anything you can. Like he was just whatever you want to do, kind of thing.
Right.
So I grabbed a full head of ponytail, okay, like it was a gi, like it was her lapel.
Yeah.
Right. Stuck that thing to the mat, dude.
Oh no.
Hard elbow to the inside of the thigh, smash pass, switch the ponytail to the other hand, shoulder to like Von Fleur to get the side control.
Devon flew.
Out of pure defense because I was getting hit.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just going to go hard, like in terms of controlling her. So I went a hard side control, full mount, and was just holding her the rest of the round. I didn't even try to like pass. I knew I was going to get smacked around.
Right.
But I didn't hit her back, but I just met this woman.
Yeah.
Now, let me tell you something. If this was my cousin,
You give him
we're
one
in
back.
jiu-jitsu class, and I've known her for 25 years, and we know each other, and she goes, and she knows she's going to hit me in a way that's like, oh, no, this is going to be equal.
Yeah.
You might get one back because we family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like that, yeah.
But because we're competing in that context, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not in this context like with my fiance or anything like that. That's whatever. But
No.
like if there's a sense of like, because
Like growing up with a sister type deal, yeah.
Yes, that's what you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I ended up doing that, but I ended up having to grapple her husband next. And I ended up like it was crazy.
Yeah.
I ended up like being in like almost in a fight. But
Oh my God.
But it reminded me of that because what he is saying, we've been together for 26, and her statement was important. I didn't want to hear anything until I heard her statement.
Yep.
My whole moral compass came from what does she have to say.
Yep.
And what I was trying to read was her body language. Not because she did the slap, but because of how does she seem intimidated? Does she seem like she's in fear?
Right.
Was her response fearful?
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't mean it. Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Where she seemed aggressive after she got hit twice. The shoe came off.
Yeah.
She was still swinging. Right. So, she was the aggressor, in that sense. Correct. So it's hard. Like,
But she did seem surprised that he hit her back. She did seem surprised at that. Because then
he seemed surprised that he seemed surprised that he got hit.
that she came and won.
I think the public factor played a role because you get hit in front of people like
You're
that
like,
and you just
Yeah.
So my moral compass lies more I think it should most likely end here because you've heard from her
Yeah.
and she got her hits in and it wasn't like we've seen stuff like Ray Rice. We've seen stuff
Oof. Yeah.
which is like extreme domestic violence, extreme abuse, where clearly one person is fearing for their life almost. Extremely scared, trying to de-escalate the situation, and then they are getting abused.
Yeah.
Right? And this doesn't look like that. Doesn't make it right, no whatsoever. But I do not think it's as bad as the other cases that we've seen of domestic violence that warrant someone to go in jail, that she needs to be protected, she needs to leave the relationship.
It looks like they're trying to they've kind of squashed it between themselves.
I think it's bad, but I do think it's probably if it comes to this type of thing, probably the best case scenario for someone like Dana and for her, like to me.
I was gonna say it could be a lot worse. And
Best
speaking
of
of
the
that,
worst.
do you think this gets worse for Dana? Not like authorities involved, but as far as, because we do have to talk about it, he is the president of the UFC. And the UFC is a company owned by Endeavor and broadcasted by Disney. ESPN is a Disney property. And if we know anything about being squeaky clean, it's going to be from Disney. So my question to you is, what do the business repercussions look like for Dana here? Because I'm not saying there should be any, because this wasn't like anything to do with the UFC, but it is a public figurehead of the company. What do you think the business side of this looks like for Dana?
the business repercussions are probably going to be worse than what they should be.
Yeah.
But I also don't think that's wrong.
It sets you up for like basically saying, okay, we're gonna either self-impose here or Disney's gonna put something down on him. We're attacking this
because
proactively.
the punishment isn't about their situation, because the context has to get taken out, because the context is going to be taken out when it's viewed.
When it's like look on Twitter, no context for any of this. It's just the
when
video itself.
When he gets stamped on, when he gets the stamp of being the guy who hit his wife, the context is not going to be there. So these businesses have every right to listen. Even though it's not as bad, you still hit your wife.
Yep. And she's not the public figure here, right? Like, not to say again there's any kind of power or whatever, but I mean, look at this. Dana White power slaps his wife. Like, she's not the public figurehead here. She's not the one that the press is so intrigued by this for, right? And it's sad that is that way. But
I mean, he's a promoter. He's a promoter of the UFC. He has this slap thing, you know.
Oh yeah.
So there's a lot of bad things that it can be associated with. Because you get, like you said, you saw that was referencing the slap league.
Yep.
So it's all bad news. So any company that's associated with like Disney or I think going forward, it's going to be tough for him. But I do think it's probably for someone slapping their wife publicly, it's probably going to be the best case.
Yeah.
I don't think bad it's going to be.
I'll come out and say I don't think he loses his job for this. Like, I don't see that happening. I could see a temporary suspension or something that's like self-imposed. Yeah. I don't even know how that would look for the UFC, but I don't see Dana White riding off into the sunset off of this. Right? I don't see this being the last thing we see of Dana White. Like, I think it'll probably be something where ESPN or Disney comes out with a written statement. Endeavor probably comes out with a written statement, and he probably takes a leave of absence for if there's anything like that happens. If there is any kind of him stepping down for a bit, it would be like I would say a couple months.
Especially because they caught that first slap where he got hit heavy.
Yeah.
You know, and that's also a big, when you watch the video, that's the first thing you see.
Yep.
So it's like, whoa, that's the first shocking thing that you see is bam. It's like, what the? You know, so it's, even watching it, the context of it, you know, it's like, oh, it gets bad, but.
Yep. And it's
a good look,
It's not a good look for anybody, man. We'll keep on this situation, Sensei, but as of right now, Dana White in an altercation with his wife. More to come, I'm sure, on this. Stay tuned. But the main message we should send from this, it's never okay for anybody in a relationship to get physical. Obviously, under normal circumstances, that probably wouldn't have happened, but it's never okay to blame booze, never okay to do it in public or in private. Work things out by talking, and if you can't, separate from each other, because this is the worst case scenario. So
that's what we learn is about proximity. Learn something about self-defense. He tries securing the hands at first, de-escalating a situation and giving yourself space, because once he gets hit, you're in that space. You have no right to. You shouldn't have hit her back.
No.
So now you made it wrong.
Yeah.
You know. So you got to just diffuse, de-escalate, and diffuse. And most fights are over the stupidest things.
I guarantee
and they
you
get escalated, extremely out of proportion. Even the most violent of crimes come from the smallest of things, because people, they get, the downward spiral like this. It spiraled out of control. Yeah. De-escalate and diffuse.
You're hearing it from a sensei. You guys better listen. Yes. Dana White and his wife in an altercation. What happens next? I guess we'll find out.